Step off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the track suddenly must be mine.
Look at Mappin going 3 wide going into the corner.
And Mappin does it! Oh, what a move! What a
Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean?
himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL, but now he's a 3-time F1XL champion. It's brilliant.
I don't really care for what you believe, so open up your fist, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every man you need.
Hello and welcome F1XL fans. It is that time once again. It's round 2 of our 16th season. We're here at Le Castellet for the French Grand Prix. Hello and welcome F1XL fans. It is that time once again. It's round 2 of our 16th season. We're here at Le Castellet for the French Grand Prix. The circuit Paul Ricard first hit the F1 scenes back in 1971, and after a fair few years away, we returned to it in 2018. The track measures roughly 3.6 miles long. It contains 2 DRS zones with 15 corners, 6 of those to the left and 9 to the right. We're looking at average speeds of 142 miles an hour here, maxing out at around 205 on that Mistral straight. Due to being built on a plateau, this track is incredibly flat, which means elevation is very minimal. Now, your main overtaking opportunities will arise at turn 1 and turn 8. While turn 10 is a ballsy move, it is more than doable as well. And finally, the last corner is a huge spot to catch someone napping, even the commentators. Be warned though, you can lose heaps of time there if you get it wrong, as well as the double right-hander at the end of sector 1. Last season's winner, Jolly, is going to want to take the front foot on things here and try and establish his dominance in the league once again. But for now, it is time to find out who the winner of the French Grand Prix is going to be.
Regardless of the weather here at the Grand Prix, and as we can see, it's grey already, but we'll have to wait and see as the race goes on. But after last week, I can imagine we're going to have an equally as exciting Grand Prix today.
Well, that's what we are hoping for. I mean, I don't know. French Grand Prix is always a little bit of an interesting one. I don't think many people like it. I think some people do. Hello pingers and goodbye pingers. That's odd. But yeah, I think it's more based on if you can get the flowingness of the track right, you're going to be really, really at home at this track. I think that bit, the bit between the two right-handers between, with sector 2 starting in between it, just where Neil's 998 is now, that is one of the most difficult in my eyes to get right. Have I lost it? What's going on? Have I? No. What is going on? My technological stuff is all breaking on me today. So apparently my headset wasn't on for the last couple of minutes talking. Ollie.
I was wondering where you were.
Well, the stream caught me, but no one else did. No, I say the stream caught me. You didn't. So I went through the conversation on my own. Unfortunately, it's all my fault. Do not worry. However, the turns. I think it's turns 5 and 6, where the sector changes from the first to the second. I think that is one of the most difficult. If you get that wrong, you've got the whole of Mistral Straight. I want to call it Minstrel Straight, but Mistral Straight wrong.
Yeah, you're stuck there, and especially with the DRS zone, the second DRS zone at the circuit, you're almost screwed really, and it's a great overtaking opportunity for the drivers tonight. And I'm sure we're going to see a plather of overtakes coming in, and especially on cold tyres on lap 1 and after coming out of the pits, the drivers may struggle. So it's for those opportunistic drivers, key overtaking spot.
Definitely. I think turn 10, which is the long right-hander as well, is another opportunity to go there as well. We've seen a flurry of drivers pushing on the mediums to start with, and then Family Guy's the only one so far on the softs, but he's only just beaten Master Swain, who was P2 last time out.
Yeah, Master Swain had a great race last week, finishing in P2 at Baku. After being a bit further back on the grid. But yeah, Family Guy is on track still. We're still 12 minutes to go, so he's come out early with those soft tyres, Gareth. I'm not sure what his plan is, unless he thinks rain's going to come down sooner rather than later with the grey overcast skies you've got on circuit. Just as head-ups as well. Oh, no, don't worry, ignore me. I thought there was a stream issue, but it's all fixed now. That's all good. Carry on.
We are apparently having all dry session. My informants have told me. But I am going to go on board with TES Madman. So maybe it is the cooler weather which has forced him to go onto the softer tyre early, as Pred is back into the lobby after, I'm guessing, he disconnected earlier on. So I'm sorry I missed that one as well. I'm good at missing things that happened to Pred, unfortunately. I think he thinks I hate him, but I don't. He knows I don't. But we do have a reserve driver in tonight. He's a little bit, I don't want to say he's a bit too good for our league, because that is wrong. He would be perfect for our league, but it's ERL Viper. He is kind of just knocking on the door of the esports scene, but he is still a pad user. So, the sooner he gets over to the wheel, the better. But he is an incredibly quick driver. Him and Jolly, I would love to see those two, both pad users, going at it. But really looking forward to what Madman can produce in the Mercedes then, going through that turn 10 right-hander, which you should be able to do flat out. But I don't know about you. I don't feel the flow about this track personally, but I know there's a lot of people that do.
It's like Marmite, Gareth. You either love or hate it, the circuit. I am in the camp that I hate it, unfortunately. Great racing for us to watch, but for me driving it, I just can't get my head around it. Unfortunately, it's just similar with the Hanoi circuit in Vietnam. I just can't get my head around it. Maybe it's just I haven't done enough practice. But it is, for those, if you can nail this circuit, you're very likely to get on the podium today, Gareth, and I'm sure there's a couple of drivers that have had enough practice the last 7 days to really put in a shift tonight and get a good result. We've already seen how close the top three are. I mean, there are tyre changes in that, but it's already quite close to the top. We've already done 5-6 minutes in qualifying, so I'm expecting good things as Madman's gone wide round turn 6, and that's going to impact his straight line speed coming down that straight we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for him, but I am on board. I've moved now on board with Pickled, and with Astro joining, this should mean we have a full 20-car lobby, which is going to be an incredible race, hoping that people will stick through it throughout. But Pickled Avenger then coming through Sector 3, not had the best of luck last week when he got swamped coming across the line by the two Force Indias, I believe it was, Turkeys and TES Gunhead. That was a bit of an incredible one, but Pickled Avenger then coming down the back straight. It's always annoying because I can never tell where the actual start-finish line is, because some of it's a bit further down, but that one is pole by Pickled Avenger by 9/10 of a second. Exactly 9/10 of a second as well, which is crazy to think of.
That's not a bad lap from the man in the Williams. Good to see that car up at the front of the Grand Prix. But it's a long. So I can't get words out tonight. Still a long way to go in the qualifying session. 9 minutes left, and there's still plenty of drivers yet to do any laps on the circuit at the moment. No, it's just trying to look at who's the top three from last week, but some of them have already done laps in this Grand Prix. But I've got a question for you, Gareth. How many different locations have held the French Grand Prix over the last 100 years?
Isn't it something like 6?
No, you're a bit off there.
I'm a bit off because I only know Magny-Cours and Le Castellet, which Circuit Paul Ricard, but I thought it was a quite a hefty number, but I'm clearly wrong.
Well, if we include the title Grand Prix in it, it's 16 different circuits have held the French Grand Prix, the first one being in 1906, which is over 100 years ago, so it's a long time before both of us were born. But yeah, it's amazing to think that the French Grand Prix has been held for so long in France. Yeah, I don't think it's the best circuit we've got for tonight. Out of all the French circuits we've got, I think Magny-Cours is a little bit better, but we haven't got that freedom of choosing which one we want. But yeah, it's amazing to think 16 different locations have held this Grand Prix.
Is quite phenomenal, really. So Viper does go P3 in all that, but just before Gunhead takes pole as well. So Viper's the fastest medium runner, but considering I only knew 2 of the French tracks, being 10 off when saying 6, I was yeah, that's really beaten me down. No, it hasn't. It just shows that sometimes your knowledge, when you think you know a lot about F1, there's still more to learn. Wow, I thought I knew a lot, but I'm very much of a 90s era knowledge person, so yeah, I'm surprised. Though I think there was only Magny-Cours that was in the 90s.
Well, I think it's 6 or 7 officially like Grand Prix, but since if you include the term official F1 Grand Prix, but if you include the term Grand Prix, it's 16. So it's depends how you word the question, I think, and I worded it in a way to make sure you got it wrong, I think.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look. Let's go on board with the Ferrari of LCR Astro. Now he's just starting his lap. I believe he is going out on mediums. Let's have a quick look actually before I do. So the majority of people are trying to get that medium compound run done first and see how that posts for them. If I remember rightly, it's a solid 1 stop here, soft to hard or medium to soft if you start outside the top 10, I think. But you're really stretching that hard compound when you're on the softs. Well, I'm pretty sure that was last game, actually. I could now be getting my information all mixed up. But it's I'm sure we'll get the pop-up screen eventually telling us who is predicted to what strategy. However, I think going back to last week, obviously we had Squidgy Genie as the really the man to beat out there, and currently he's invalidated one lap. He's in the pits, probably going to wait until he comes back out again. Do you think it kind of shows a weakness? You know, maybe a bit of pressure on the Haas driver.
I think Squidgy Genie was the surprise package last week. We didn't expect him to be up there, and he sort of blew us away. And I think there is a bit of pressure on him for this French Grand Prix after last week's performance. And this circuit is a bit stricter on the track limits, from what I gather from speaking to some of the drivers. So there's a lot more pressure here for him. And of course, he got a full grid rather than, I think we had 15 or 16 drivers last week. So another couple of drivers on circuit for him to dodge or / overtake here today. So I wouldn't count him out as of yet. There's still 4 minutes to go, and he might just do an absolute blinder and prove us both wrong. You never know. But it's LS16 has gone top after his crash out last week in the car section. He's redeemed himself so far with 4 minutes to go with a 128.3, 5/10 quicker than Gunhead in second.
That's an incredible lap time. Maybe a bit of redemption for him this week. We'll wait and see. But his teammate is on a lap at the moment, and he's just gone smash forward to get back in. Okay, that's an interesting one. We gave him nearly no stream time last week, and I'm trying to get him some stream time in the qualifying, and he doesn't want it. He just goes straight on when he's not meant to. But we'll interesting. Viper retiring from the session, happy to be on those mediums. He's got a game plan in mind, I'm sure, but now's not. I don't think now is the time to be pushing out on those medium compound tyres. But Turkey's is maybe he has a plan in mind as well, but he only manages P11.
Just outside the top 10 for Turkeys, but he will have a choice of tyres being outside the top 10, so maybe that's a strategy thinking the long term in the Grand Prix, Gareth.
I can imagine people trying to push a little bit further. We have got TES Gunhead now on a lap as well, with his TES compadre in P1 knocking him from the pole position. And getting in the way as well. I thought that was getting him in the way of turn 8? Oh yeah, turn 8 there. So we'll wait and see. And with 2 minutes to go, are you confident in saying Light Shock TES LS16 would be the pole man?
Do you know what? I don't want to predict in this league, Gareth, because who knows? He does have 5/10 on Gunhead at the moment, but there's still Squidgy Genie's just about to start his lap on the on the soft tyres as well. So he's one to keep an eye out on. Can Gunhead beat the Toro Rosso as he comes across the line? I'm not sure whether in the racing point can he beat him. I don't think he can. No, he's gone second, 10th quicker, but he's got enough time for one more lap. But does he want to do it on those soft tyres? Does he want to put more wear on a soft compounded tyre which will go off eventually? No, he slowed down. That's in the qualifying for the racing point driver.
So only TES Light Shock, who was second last week. The rest of the top runners of last week in qualifying aren't to be seen yet. Stracker then P17. Where does he go? He goes P4. So that's a great lap time from the Renault. The Renaults are now getting themselves involved in things. I know he didn't have the best of lucks last time out. Let's go on board with. I'm trying to think who's next. It's not Pred.
Squidgy Genie got a faster sector 2.
So let's go on board with the Haas driver. So unlucky not to claim his first victory in F1XL F1 last week. Instead, it fell to Prophet Meady, who is currently in P8. I believe he started P3 on the grid last week as well. Squidgy then rounds the final corner. That looked pretty tight, to be honest. Though could be a nice time for Squidgy. But it is only P2 for Squidgy. Wow.
Almost.
Who's next? It's a Ferrari that's next. LCR Astro. He only manages P14. Jolly's on an outlap, so it must be Madman coming over the line. No. Who was that coming over the line? I've lost a few now. Pred is P18, so Pred's back down there. Is it Neil?
Yeah, I think some of the drivers not doing as well as we thought they would in trucks at the top as expected. But where is Master Swain? Master Swain's down in 11th. Is he out at the moment? Yeah, there's still tons of them out on Turk Garage, so this table is going to change very quickly.
Ooh, Swain pops into the pits as well. So I know...
it looks like he invalidated his lap.
Sloppy is going first across the line. He only manages P12. Nuthead then manages P6 for the Ferrari team owner. Is a lot better news than last week, it looks like. Is Pingers on a lap? No, he's invalidated. Madman is coming into the pits. LCR Astro is on a lap, it looks like. Yeah, Astro is coming through the final bits now. And looks like he's being chased off the track by WRS Cam. But what can Astro do? Astro goes P2. So a Ferrari has gone second. They were non-existent pretty much last weekend, but they are there for it today. And Squidgy is saying that he messed up his final run, so there could have been more time for that Haas driver as well. But it is LS16 that will take pole today.
Yeah, the British driver puts it on pole in the AlphaTauri with Astro in second. Squidgy Genie, the man who finished in P3 last week, starts in P3 in qualifying with Prophet Meady in P4. Gunhead starts 5th, Jolly 6th, Pickled Avenger 7th, Stracker 8th, Nuthead in 9th, Madman 10th, Pingers 11th, Viper down in P number 12, Pred 13th, Family Guy in 14th, Master Swain all the way down in 15th, Sloppy Cop in 16th, Chris in 17th, Turkeys in 18th, Nils in 19th, and the only man not do a lap is WRS Cam 10 in the Renault, and that is qualifying over and done with, Gareth.
That was really quick. That's the only way I can describe that qualifying. It was just rapid. Like no time had gone at all. Obviously, we had a full 15 plus minutes of it, but I'm thinking people are going to be a bit annoyed with themselves. Sorry, it was Light Shock that said he messed up his second one, not Squidgy. So did manage enough to get a pole position for the Toro, the AlphaTauri driver. Nearly caught up on the Toro Rosso slip. I don't know. With the incidents last week, some of them obviously because it was Baku, but some of it just some drivers were better at race pace than qualifying pace. And obviously we've got a couple of qualifiers who qualified high last week and had good race pace last week are now quite low down the order. Oh my goodness, what is going on with my mic? It's just turned itself off again, my headset to you. So everyone heard the stream, apart from you.
Oh, okay. Oh, at least we're not affecting the stream. That's the important thing.
I'm going to have to try and get a different headset for this, because I'm not sure why these ones are just turning off. I can't even remember the question I asked. So despite going second, Astro will start last. What?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's last on the loading screen, but that isn't what the grid is. Well, I guess that's last to join potentially, but I don't know why that. I mean, it's a glitch. Unfortunately, the Codemasters game this year isn't the best example of a multiplayer game, so I don't know whether there's been a new glitch that's occurred in the game that we haven't realised as of yet, Gareth. I don't know.
It looks like it. There's a according to Lightshock, there is a glitch where if you join late, even if you do a lap, you will start last. Wow. So no matter how good Astro lap was there, it's forced him into an error. I wonder if they will do a restart of the lobby for these guys. I'm not sure. It's the honest answer. And
We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
yeah. But the session is starting. We'll wait and see what carnage ensues from this point.
Yeah, that's confirmation at the bottom. Gareth, he's starting in 20th place, the Ferrari driver. That's really unfortunate because he had 2 in the top 10 in qualifying, and now down in 20th. He's got a mountain to climb if he wants to get near the top of this Grand Prix, well, top of the grid today. He's got 27 laps to do it though, and if he can be use magic in his strategy, he might get a good chance. Safety cars, I mean, not so likely at this Grand Prix with such a run-off, but you never know, and he might get some luck. Might be on his side today.
It might be, and that pit entry is a bit awkward as well, so things could conspire with him or conspire against him. Already against him, it looks like, unfortunately, but there doesn't seem to be anybody leaving to recreate the lobby, so it looks like we are going ahead with this one. So Pingers has deemed it acceptable. Jolly, interesting. I think Williams and Mercedes and the AlphaTauri definitely looking at the moment like the strongest one lap pacers, but is that going to conspire into the race, and how do you think who do you think is going to win? I'll ask that question now, and you've got 2 questions to answer before lights out.
I think LS16 is going to take the win after his rookie error coming up the castle section last week. I think he's the one to do something today, but I'm going to keep an eye out for Family Guy and Master Swain, both on the hard tyres just outside the top 10, as is Neil's down in 18th, but those guys are a little bit further up. So those 2 keep an eye on as well, I think, Gareth.
So strategy is definitely going to play a part in this Grand Prix. While we wait for people to hit their grid positions, LCR Astro is not going to be the last one. It's going to be WRS Cam, who will pop into his slot last. While we wait for that, we do wonder how the hard compound runners are going to act. It's looking advantage TES Lightshock at the moment. That's what qualifying has said. But until the lights come through, we will not know. And we are on 5 lights, and away we go. Looks like a fast start from a Ferrari down below. Lightshock could very well get swarmed by the Williams and the Haas. Squidgy Genie's got a incredible start, but it's not enough to get past the AlphaTauri, but he's still having a little nosy through, but it's not happening at the moment. There looks like there is wing flying off behind, but Prophet Meady now has capitalised, and in reverse order to last week, Prophet Meady has caught Squidgy Genie out instead of Lightshock out this week, and there is a little gap to Stracker behind. Anything I missed?
It was Jolly who went sideways coming out of turn number 2, Gareth, and was all the way down in 18th with no front wing on that car. They're 13 places down, or 12 places now down on where he started, so not the best start for the Mercedes driver.
Not at all, and it's 3 wide going into 7 and 8, I think that is. A Red Bull and a Ferrari and a Racing Point of TES Gunhead. Viper is the medium runner. He's up 3 positions. And Sloppy Cop's up 6 positions in the McLaren, now up to P9. So, great job from the McLaren driver, but there is something happening just up ahead. Let's have a look at Squidgy Genie. The timing screens are still off, so can't really tell. But Simple Chris looks like he's had a disaster back there. And Light Shock is pulling away. There's a bit of a lock up there by Prophet Meaty. Anything else I missed back there while everything was going on?
Gunhead has just come into the pits as well. I don't know whether he's lost part of his front wing. I can't see from my angle, but he came in from 5th place. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Nuthead under pressure from Viper as they come down towards turn number 1. Does he dive to the inside? No, he doesn't. He stays behind at the moment. Blue flags waving on circuit. I'm not sure who's at the back of the Grand Prix already, but driver staying in the position for now. But that's Pingers with a 3-second time penalty already, Gareth, and we're not, well, we've barely done a lap.
Not a great start for Pingers. He's obviously getting a bit frustrated where he is at the moment. Let's have a look. I'm going to have a look because apparently Jolly might have visual damage. Because he is getting swamped back there as well. This is not the best camera angle, but there does look like there is a missing end plate front left on that Mercedes. There is a missing front end plate, and I wonder, Gunhead must have had a damaged front wing for him to fall that far off.
I think Jolly spinning is sort of bumped people. Sorry, Gareth. I think he's bumped into people and tons of people has lost their front wing at the start of the Grand Prix.
So, Pred is on medium compound tyres, and he's about 5, maybe 6 seconds away. And it's Nuthead who pits now. So maybe people do not like these soft compounds at all, and just want to pit straight off as quickly as possible. It'll be interesting to see what tyres he comes to. It's medium, so probably a 2-stop from there for the Ferrari driver. But as I was saying about Pred, he's about 6 seconds away from Light Shock, and he's going to end up on the faster tyre at the end.
Yeah, Pred's had a great start. Viper's following him through at the moment. More penalties for Cam as well, but I want to keep an eye on Gareth and Strackers and Sloppy Cop, because they're fighting away, coming down the second straight here in France. Cam, Sloppy Cop go down the inside and come up to turn number 8 and 9. He's got the inside line. DRS is wide open, and he's down the inside before they even get to the turn, and that's McLaren up into P number 6.
And Madman is now looking for it as well. He's going to be eager to get past, and Master Swain has done quite a credible job so far of being quiet. He's up to P9 on those hard compound tyres. Yeah,
doing a good job for him. You know, want to keep an eye out on those guys who started on the hard tyres, and as we've already said, the guys aren't getting on with those soft tyres, and we've seen a few of them come into the pits already. So maybe a big strategy error from some of the drivers who maybe did too much time in qualifying on those soft tyres. Definitely, and it looks like Stracker's struggling. That Mercedes behind him with Madman was desperate to get past. And actually, I think Madman's made a mistake, which then caused him to drop a bit of time to him. And having that Red Bull behind, okay, on the slower compound tyre, but it's just meaning it's an extra worry to have behind him as Stracker picks up a 3-second time. Yeah, I said it in the intro, Gareth, that penalties were going to be they're going to be dotted around the place, and we've already had 4 or 5 drivers that have penalties here in France already, so not the best start for a few of the drivers. But Stracker's struggling again, and that Mercedes of Madman is all over the back of them. They come down the straight as well. Can the Mercedes driver get past him? DRS is wide open. He's going to have to dive down the inside. I think he does, up to turn number 8, and Stracker's really struggling on those soft tyres, Gareth. He's going to have to pit. Definitely. We've just seen
Pred overtake Viper as well, and Stracker's gone back at Madman now. So Madman had a poor exit, and now through 10 is going to have to suffer behind that Renault again, but these two are both on soft compound tyres, so they're going to struggle, and behind, Master Swain is just going to, kind of just going to eat this up, because it's kind of playing into his game a little bit, but he could do with being, like dispatching them quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's got dirty air behind the driver, so that's not really what he wants. As Stracker zooms into the pits here in France, as well as that Prophet Media in the pits as well, Gareth. So lots of drivers on the soft tyres already in, and only on lap 5:27.
Yeah, plenty of penalties, plenty of pit stops already, and it's like a game of chess. These early stages, you don't really know what's going to happen come lap 25, but on lap 5, Lightshock currently leads by 5.3 seconds to the Haas of Squidgy Genie, and then, well, within DRS range behind them, we've got Viper and SF Pred, who are on a slower compound tyre, but they are really doing a number on the job at the moment.
Yeah, they're not bad, are they? They're getting into a groove now, and they're really catching the top two, which is great to see. Madman's got a huge train forming behind him, and that's swinging the hard tyres, working his way up the grid now as Family Guy gets a penalty as well, and I think that's maybe the 7th or 8th driver who've had penalties already in this Grand Prix, so not the best time for him, but that is a 1, 2, 3, 6 car train formed behind the Mercedes driver in 6th place.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, so that is a massive train coming from the back of Madman there. And yeah, wow, how Swain really just need to get past this Mercedes so he can really get on with his own race. Squidgy Genie now pits, but Madman is staying out.
He is, yeah, unless he's trying to do the 2-stop, Gareth, on those soft tyres, but I'd love to know how hot those Red Wall tyres are. As Master Swain, can he get past him? He goes dive towards the inside line. He's going to be better on the brakes with those fresher hard tyres. He's down the inside past Mercedes, and he's in some clean air now. He's got 2 seconds the sloppy cop ahead of him, so he needs to put his head down now and try and get a lead on the Mercedes driver behind him.
He's got to really push, maybe use a bit more fuel than he would have expected going down the straight, but you can see the squirming of the guys on the soft compound tyre still. They are obviously got their own strategy to play, but it could lead them to having issues.
Oh, definitely. They've got to be careful. They don't want any blistering and tyres blowing up on them in this Grand Prix. It's a long way back to the pits if they break down the second straight, as Madman's still somehow ahead of Williams of Pilk Avenger, but he's down the inside, coming down into turn number 10, and that's him back, up to 6th place now. Madman dropping like a stone in water here in the French Grand Prix. Surely they've got to come into the pit soon.
You would think so. Lightshock is staying out, so Lightshock's doing, well, he's got the clear air, so he can do whatever he wants, but these guys in the midfield battle, I think Pickled and Madman both need to go into the pits, and well, Madman does, Pickled doesn't, so Pickled is happy with what he's got, and Swain is starting to pull away then from these guys. He's on those harder compounds, and they will take him further and probably give him a bit more performance at this stage of the race over the mediums.
Yeah, with these early stages of the Grand Prix, he's definitely in the driving seat, not physically and mentally at the moment in that Red Bull. But if you look at the split between first down to 5th, I mean, I can change it actually, and I can find there's 11 seconds, and they're all on different strategies. So we're really interested to see how those top 5 perform with 20 laps to go. Hards, mediums, and softs on the drivers. I'm looking forward to these last 20 laps, guys, because it's going to be really interesting from a strategy point of view.
Yeah, there is definitely a difference of opinions on how to race this, and that is the incredible thing about league racing, is there isn't those the same as WRS Cam just gets overtaken by turkeys coming out of the chicane and into turn 10. people suit different strategies, and unlike the real F1 where you're kind of forced into where you're a midfield battle or you're the leader teams, you're kind of forced into strategies. But these guys just do kind of whatever the hell they like.
Oh yeah, 100%. And tyres degrade a little bit differently in the game than they do in real life. As LS16 is in the pits as well as Pickle Avengers. So those are the last two guys on those soft tyres. That's Viper and Pred have taken the lead of this Grand Prix. There's only half a second splitting those guys now as well, Gareth. Do you think they're going to work together to try and bounce this lead off before the Sloppy Cop catches up? Or are they going to race each other as Pred gets a penalty, actually, commentator's curse? Or are they going to race each other and maybe even ruin each other's races here?
I think Pred, he's quite a smart guy when it comes to racing. He knows Viper is possibly just that little bit quicker than him. So he's probably just going to sit behind him for the time being and just make sure he keeps up with him, gets Viper to turn along, and that could benefit him in the long run. I don't think he's going to go too gung-ho at him and then for them to battle it out later on with other drivers. I think they want to get into clean air when they finally pit, and then that's when we'll see these two start fighting.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't want to jump the gun too early, like you said, and they've got to be careful because if they start battling, that's going to allow Sloppy Cop to jump straight back into this fight for the lead. And of course, they don't want to ruin those medium tyres either, because Master Swain on those hards is in his own strategy world, but we don't know what's going to happen with these strategies at the moment. It looks like it's getting a bit cloudier as well. I know it's not going to rain, but that'll help the tyres if the track cools down a little bit as well.
Interesting. LS16 has gone on to a set of softs, confirmed 2-stop for him. He's obviously, that's a preferred strategy for the AlphaTauri driver. His teammate getting not swamped, that's probably the wrong word, but getting hounded by turkeys behind. But Light Shock, definitely a different strategy, not one we expected, but it does mean that he's going to be incredibly quick throughout the whole of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, maybe in his mind he thinks that with how the tyres react on the circuit, he's just got to go hard or go home on every single lap. And if he wants to do that sort of strategy, he's got to do that 2-stop. And he's going for the soft tyres again as he does a fast sector 1 on those soft tyres. So he's on a mission, Gareth, and he wants to redeem himself after last week, I think.
Definitely, as Turkeys just makes a standard move on F1XL Pingers. No defence from Pingers there. It was just happy to maybe just get back into a slipstream and get into a rhythm for the sister AlphaTauri team. And he's gone on his merry way now. But it's interesting, two drivers that couldn't make last week, one who is a reserve. They're currently sitting the top 3 at the moment, so complete different set of events than we were seeing last week.
Yeah, it's good to see a different variation of drivers up at the top of the grid. It shows how close the league is, Gareth. So that's always good to see. And I like trying to pronounce different names every week, the drivers at the top. And it's just great to see. As Nuthead gets a penalty as well. He's not had the best run the first 2 races. He's down 13th, and last week's performance of him pirouetting in the off areas of Baku, so he's not had the best 2 races, so we'll see how he goes. As LS16 new fast lap of 31.7, that man is on a mission down in, where is he, 9th, so he's got still a lot to go as Astro's left the session as well. The man who did qualify in 2nd and unfortunately started down in last place, and he's retired in last place, so I'm not sure what's going on with that Ferrari, Gareth.
I'm going to try and get him back into the game and be kind. He's obviously having a little bit of a difficulty on that side, unfortunately, for the Ferrari driver. Both of them struggling, but Light Shock is on a mission, it seems like, as there's plenty of overtaking going on. Cam gets past Pingers, and Pingers' teammate gets through Sinful Chris as easy as possible. So Pingers, I don't think, is going to hold up his teammate. I think that he'll make that quite an easy easy overtake for him, and then try and follow him through. But the rest of those guys are not going to let Light Shock through as easily as he might have hoped for.
Yeah, these guys aren't going to sit down and just lay down for him, Gareth. He's as he gets past his teammate, actually. Teammate's helping him out there, of course. But those guys in front of him aren't just going to let him by. They're going to fight for it. They're on different strategies, though, so it'd be interesting to see what they do as he races up behind Cam, who's in 6th place at the moment. We started way down at the back of the grid, so it's a good job for Cam up to 6th place. I know everyone's on different strategies, so some people are out of place, but it's a good job for him so far up in 6th place. But the top 2 of the last 2 laps, Gareth, they've gained a 2.5 of a sloppy cop. So those guys are on a mission at the front and getting away from the 3rd place man.
And interestingly enough, Swain has actually caught Sloppy that same, very similar, maybe not exactly the same, that kind of time as Pred, having a look up the inside, and he makes the move stick. But there's no defence from Viper, so Viper was happy to let him through. So maybe there is a little bit of team working going on at the front, even though they're not teammates, just to help them along this Grand Prix. Maybe they've seen how quickly Lightshock is coming through this field and doesn't want to, well, they want to have that opportunity at the end there, as Astro has rejoined the session.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, Viper, I'm sure you said if he's a quick driver, we can already see that on circuit. And I think, like you said, they're working together, even though they're not teammates. They want to maintain this gap they've got to Sloppy Cop down in 3rd, and if they can do that, and until they get onto the last set of tyres, then they can race. Then that's fair play. So we'll have to see. It's still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. Still 16 laps to go. Sorry, 15 laps to go. But I'm interested to see how they go now. As Ping is in the pits as well. I'm just to see what he goes on to now. And currently he's on mediums.
Sorry, Lightshock was just darting up the inside of Turkeys at turn 1 just to get that move done as quickly as possible. And now, well, interesting. He's got the timing's just gone on it. 2.8 seconds between him and Master Swain, just ahead. But how much longer can Lightshock's tyres hold out for? You think maybe lap 7. So he's got to make sure he overtakes Swain, or otherwise he is in trouble. Because he's not going to get ahead of Swain once he gets those quicker tyres on at the end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I agree with that. As Swain actually on the back of Sloppy Cop, who's slowed down dramatically over the last couple of laps, and he's losing time to the guys ahead. And that is Swain, surely not around the outside of turn number 11. He's going to try it.
Oh, he's gone up the inside.
He's up the inside. Oh, great move from the Red Bull driver. But the McLaren is still on his outside. Can he hang around the outside of the McLaren driver? No, he can't. Slips behind, and that's Nasser Swain up into P number 3. Great move from the Red Bull driver, doing the switch back through turn 11, and he's up into P3. What
a move. The Red Bull driver is really going for it. Maybe saw Lightshock behind, but Sloppy has gone into the pits, as has Viper. Maybe saw the Lightshock was going so much quicker that he knew he had to make the move sooner or later, but it was an incredible move nonetheless, as everything is all going to get reorganised down there. Just quickly say hello to Mike in the chat, King Mike, who used to be a racer in F1XL. He's now moved to PS4. But yeah, I'm well. Hope you're doing well as well. I'll catch you in a minute. But yes, so currently, obviously with pits still to happen, a Red Bull 1-2 looking very feisty nonetheless. And Lightshock is 2.1 now behind Swain, and that's only really 7/10 he's caught in a lap, considering Swain had a battle. That's not as much as he would have hoped for.
No, I mean, that gap is closing quite quickly still, though. It's now 1.8 as on lap 13, but LS16 needs to get past Swain before he pits, I think, if he's going to have any chance to beat him in this Grand Prix, the AlphaTauri driver. But, I mean, LS16 is in his mirrors now. I'm sure Swain can see him if he looks back in his camera. I don't know how good he can deal with pressure here in this Grand Prix, but that gap is closing rather quickly now as Pred is in the pits as well from the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, looks like the slower corners, those softs have still got some pace to it, but he's still ploughing through quite strong. We'll probably be seeing Swain pit in the next couple of laps. Hards then for Pred. Hards for Viper. Squidgy's left the session. Might need to quickly grab him in a second as well. Is there any battles going on down below? There's still a huge train. And I'm trying to pick it out, but it's Profit Media. Yeah, it's not a huge train. It's just a few cars bumped together as Viper is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo, of Niels 998, and Pred has come out just behind him. So the undercut did work for the Haas driver.
Yeah, he's got back through, and that's ideal for Viper. And if you can get past Niels as well, that's going to put a car in between him and Pred. If I can get past him as well, that would be very ideal. But I think he's a little bit too far back, the Red Bull driver. But Niels shouldn't be too much of an obstacle to overtake, but you never know with some of the back markers, as Pred should be able to out the inside. Yeah, fairly easy move for both the drivers, and they'll be on a mission to try and catch Swain and LS16 at the front of the grid now.
So plenty is still going. Sinful Chris is doing a real solid effort on those medium compound tyres as well. 13 laps he's been ploughing away, and he didn't have the best of starts either, so he's doing a good recovery job as Light Shock is into the pits on 6-lap-old softs. So he has to go on mediums now, and he's going to have very horrible mediums at the end of the Grand Prix compared to maybe fresh mediums of Master Swain.
Yeah, the Pred and Viper did 11 12 laps respectively on those tyres, so he's going to have to do 13 laps on them. So I mean, it's going to be tough for him, and like I said, they're going to be a bit square rather than circular at the end of this Grand Prix, I think. So we'll have to wait and see how they do, how he does on those tyres. But where's he come out? He's done in the 8th, and he's got Sloppy Cop in front of him. So that's not really ideal because Sloppy Cop's only done 2 laps on his hard tyres, so he's going to be an obstacle for him to overtake as well. So lots of traffic on this Grand Prix at the moment, Gareth, and it's good to see. Lots of overtaking, which is always good from our point of view. And everyone's still running totally different strategies, which is even better.
Yeah, it's great when this happens because you don't know anything that's going on. You've got names throughout the grid, and no one that's, well, people who started places as Squidgy's retired from the session. What's happened there? He's lost it. I
think he's joined the game, and it's put him at an angle. He's just literally just driven straight into the wall coming out of turn 9. That's really unfortunate for him because he shouldn't have crashed there.
No, Sloppy. I think Sloppy has just received.
Oh, is it really?
So Sloppy's crash. I think maybe something happened with Sloppy and Squidgy, because Squidgy was further down the road, and he's got I think that was a drive-through penalty and damaged front wing. And so under the virtual safety car. So this is mental what's going on. And so people are pitting. Swain has pitted as well. Niels and Profit. So they've all tried to take advantage of the safety car. And why is Light Shock in as well? What's going on?
He also got speeding in the pit lane as well, Gareth. So he's stuck there for 5 seconds, which is not what he wanted. And his race going from bad to worse. He puts another set of mediums on.
And a front wing.
Yeah,
change.
I think and a front wing. It's gone from bad to worse from Gareth. This is not what the AlphaTauri driver wanted here in France.
Not at all. And I say big news. Swain has come out only 5 seconds behind his teammate. So he's gained some time underneath the virtual safety car. And he's in a big position here. And one to watch out for a little bit later on. Sinful Chris has got a long way to go on a set of softs unless he's doing a reverse 2-stop strategy. And yeah, interesting nonetheless as Picard Avenger trying to get, losing out to Turkeys on the fresher hard compound tyres, and Light Shock then down in 17th place. Another race that he will be fuming at. Yeah,
it's another race to forget. I think Gareth, for Light Shock. It's just gone from bad to worse, and it's just unlucky the first 2 races of this season. So hopefully he can at least get some points today. He'll be on a mission. He won't give up. Oh, and that's a move from Simple Chris down the inside of Cam, and that's not really worked out for him. And then he's going to be overtaken by Stracker as well. So he's in a Renault sandwich at the moment, and not the best move for him through there. But he's got to do something for Simple Chris here, Gareth. He's on the soft tyres. He's got to push regardless of he's off as well. Yeah, the run from Ricard's all over the shop at the moment. But yeah, he only went on soft, so I'm interested to see what his plan is here, Gareth, on the soft tyres. But it's something different, which we like to see here.
It's a very different strategy. Getting himself some stream time, he knows that much at least. But yeah, I mean, you can catch people sleeping at that last corner, and he very, very nearly caught Pickled Avengers. Was it Pickled or WRS Cam sleeping there? It was well worth the effort. Didn't cause an incident in the end either as well, so that is fine. But I do feel sorry for the people who have who've lost out because of incidents, and he is coming up, trying to have a go around the... No. He's trying to go up the inside, sorry. And he has managed to get up the inside, but he's just not got enough traction compared to the hards for some reason. Well, he's gone around the outside now of turn 12, and he has got the move done.
Oh,
that was very, very close.
Great move.
Will we see him dart up the inside again? He's learned from his mistakes. He's not going to do it this time. But he is very close to the back end of that Williams, though. Look how close that is.
Yeah, he needs to do something here, guys. He's down the inside. A great move from Simple Chris there. He's on those soft tyres. If he's going to get any points from this Grand Prix, he's got to go balls to the wall here in France. Otherwise, he's not going to score any points because he's going to have to pit again. And the other drivers in this group don't have to pit again. So he's got to go for it. Like Light Shock earlier in the Grand Prix, he's just got to put his foot down and get past his drivers and go overtaking round turn 12 around the outside. I've never seen anyone make a move through there, so good on him for doing that. Can he get past Turkey? He's coming down towards turn number 8 and 9. Looks towards the inside. Is he late on the brakes? He tries it down the inside. He just about can't get past. Great racing from these drivers down in the mid-pack, and he's going to go down the inside. He's got the outside for the next corner. Can he do it? He's going to round the outside of turn 10. Surely not. He's already done it, Gareth. What great speed from the Alfa Romeo, and he's up into P number 4.
So Turkey's won't be happy with himself there for letting that, what is actually ended up being a really hard move for Simple Chris, but he made it look really interested. Interested. And it was an interesting move to watch. WRS Cam then receives another 3-second time penalty, and the time, well, the gap is slowly dropping between second and third. I think it's now gone 2 seconds. Is that Pred? Oh, I thought that was Pred having a go at the Haas driver there, but these two battling away, hammer and tongs. They've got a nice gap to Simple Chris, who is in P4, and he's got, like you say, he has to get a little bit of a move on if he wants some points in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, like we've already said, he's got to pit again. I mean, he can only really do 2, 3, maybe more laps on those soft tyres before he's got to pit again. And with how close everyone is behind Chris, I think he will drop down quite far, actually, down the grids. As you've got yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Astro retired from the session, and safety car. Oh, that's perfect for Chris. That's just what he wanted. The gods have looked down on him, and the safety car has turned out because Astro has binned it somewhere on circuit.
Oh, that is not what he would have wanted at all. That to the top 3 would have wanted. Their strategy played a massive part into why it all went as it is. I'm trying to see. He lost it on the start, finished straight by the looks of things. So I don't know what's happened with Astro there. But interesting, everyone is darting into the pits. So both Red Bulls are going in. So a double stack is on the cards, unfortunately, for these Red Bulls. And Swain, yeah, but do Oh yeah, softs will definitely take it to the end. I was just thinking they only last 7 laps, but 2 laps under the safety car. Yeah, everyone will pit. There's the second Red Bull, so it will come out Haas, Red Bull, but Light Shock will be happy with that because he's thrown him back into the race.
Yeah, some drivers have really come back into this Grand Prix now, which is good to see. But because everyone's pitted, the top 3 haven't changed, which is great. Even though Massachusetts got stuck behind a teammate at a pit stop, they've all come out because literally everyone has pit. I'm pretty sure everyone's a pit unless Family Guy hasn't pit and Sloppy Cop hasn't pitted yet because he's still coming around. No, so the only person not to pit, I think. Oh, and actually, Family Guy's the only man not to pit out of everyone on circuit. Wow, there's a lot of pit stops for the guys today. But it's needed. I mean, there's 7 laps to go and everyone's on the softs apart from Family Guy. So that is, it's almost a sprint race now, Gareth, for the end of this Grand Prix, which is great for us in the commentary box and great for the guys watching the stream.
Crazy scenes at the end. Family Guy hasn't pitted. I don't see the logic behind it, unfortunately, but it could be a master stroke or it could be something else. But penalties are definitely going to be a crazy one.
There are a lot of penalties. I think it's almost every lap we've seen someone getting a 3-second time penalty. So we'll have to, I mean, we see the orders that come across the line, but it will change. I can guarantee that now. And they've still probably got another 2 laps behind safety car. So it's going to be a 5-lap sprint race for the end of this Grand Prix, which is perfect. So, yeah, everyone get ready for it because it's going to be a tasty 5-lap final.
Yeah, crazy definitely is the word to do it. I am interested to see if Family Guy will pit now. I don't know why he wouldn't before, but will he?
Unless he wants some screen time. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe it is. He's going to get some. People overtaking him. But the softs, they will run like on lap 4-5. We did see a lot of... Yeah, a lot of wheel spin. So towards the end of the race, maybe the mediums... But then the mediums will be in the same position. So I don't know. I'm stumped with the decision there. But Viper, Pred, and Swain still in those positions. Sinful Chris unfortunately got jumped by Pickled Avenger and WRS Cam in the pits, in the pit phase. But anything really can happen now.
Oh, 100%. Anything can. It's such a dramatic way to finish any Grand Prix, and with everyone bar Family Guy on the soft tyres, it's really going to throw up an awesome end to this Grand Prix. It's going to be non-stop for the final 4-5 laps, depending on when the safety car comes in. But just looking at the position changes, the top 8 have done a great job, all in the green, with regard to position changes. I mean, Viper started in P11. Gary, I'd say when Pred started at P12, so these guys have done a great job to be up here at the start. Well, at this point in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, Swain back in 14th, I think it was where he started. So absolutely incredible. Plenty of pit stops. I think these guys weren't expecting that last pit stop on that occasion. On this occasion, sorry. It's like you said though. It's a bit weird having a safety car at this track. We weren't expecting it. Maybe a VSC. But yeah, the safety car is in this lap, so the sprint is going to start very soon, and Viper will hold and be the safety car now. So this is going to be where it's all at, and well, when he starts, everyone else will have to be on their toes, I think.
He's going to press that green button any second now, and he's already gone, Gareth, as he come into the final 2 corners, and he hasn't caught everyone napping. Everyone's still pretty close. Those Red Bull drivers have to get a move on though. Will team strategy come into play as well for those Red Bull drivers as they come across the line to restart this Grand Prix as Master Swain, no, take that back, that's Pickle Avenger, under pressure from Cam already at the restart of this Grand Prix.
Crazy already, the top three pulling away a little bit, but Cam is trying to keep up with them and he's going up the inside at turn 3. But he hasn't made the move stick. He was just having a look and he's got Sinful Chris now to worry about behind. And Sway, well, Pred has already lost his DRS advantage to Viper ahead. So Viper is just going to try his best to pull away, use all his airs and probably whatever fuel he's used up. And it's now just going to become this DRS train as Turkeys is having a look at Sinful Chris, but not on this occasion.
Yeah, without that DRS being enabled, Gareth, they're going to struggle for the first bit as Jolly gets 3 second time penalty down in 18th. Whereas Lightshot, no, he's still down in 16th, so he's going to struggle to get through onto the points as Gunhead has got part up a position as well. But great job from Viper at the start of this restart, 1.6 seconds ahead already, and being out that DRS zone is key on this circuit, especially on that second straight.
It's damage. Nuthead was still there and with Gunhead, but Gunhead was still trying to get the racing line, and there's just damage to the front wing of the Ferrari driver. So Gunhead now, Nuthead now just dropping to the back of the grid, and he's not going to be too happy with that. And we've got some positional changes up above. Sinful Chris up past WRS Cam and now trying to get in on the action on Pickled Avenger as well.
Yeah, he's done the inside going into turn number 3, just about can't make it through there, but he's right, almost glued to that gearbox of that Williams. He hasn't had the best restart there, Pickled Avenger, and Chris all over the back of him with Cam and Turkeys hot on their heels as well as they come down the back straight for the 23rd time. Will we see any position changes coming down the straight up into turn number 8? The Force India tries it, sorry, the Racing Point, my mistake, right down the inside, but he can't get through at the moment. Still no DRS, so the drivers aren't really, they're struggling to get past. The Sloppy Cock gets a 3 second time penalty as well, but there is that train forming behind that Williams now, and there is a big gap between Pickled Avenger and Master Swain now, 2.3 seconds splits, 3rd and 4th.
Mental at the moment. Will Sinful Chris try anything up the inside? We've seen him do stuff there before, but nothing at the moment. And, well, I think from 4th downwards, there's a train holding, and Swain is probably thankful of that because Sinful Chris is looking very, very feisty right now. And will he try up the inside of the last corner like he did a few laps ago on Pickled Avenger, but not on this occasion? But DRS is now enabled, and well, we should see some more overtaking happening, and well, within this lap and 4 laps remaining. Unfortunately, where you thought Lightshock was going to win and you got it right last week with Prophet Meady, it's not happening this week.
No, I think it comes and goes with the prediction. So hopefully in Abu Dhabi next week I might get it right. But Pickled Avenger, key here, he's got that gap coming onto the second straight. He's got 7/10 on Sinful Chris, so he's going to be out. Well, he's in DRS, but not close enough for an overtake as such. So Pickled Avenger picking it up at the end, or the beginning of lap 24. Can Cam get past? Turkey's down the inside. Oh, they're side by side, a little bit of contact there, and Cam just about stays ahead of Turkey's. Not the cleanest of side by side action there in this Grand Prix, but Cam staying ahead in 6th at the moment, Gareth.
Well, we've just seen Pingers nearly bin it into a wall with his battle with, I think it was Stracker. But he managed to get the move done. But Sinful Chris is... yeah, plenty still going on. Cam, Turkeys and Sinful Chris and Pickled Avenger causing memorable incidents at the moment. And this is going to be great to watch back on later on. But is that Master Swain getting past his teammate of SF Pred into turn 1?
It is. Yeah, it looked like Pred didn't bother defending that. I think they're working together as he gets a penalty for all his troubles as well. So I think he said, right, Swain, have a go at it. I can't do anything here. And he's got 3 seconds to claw back in 3 laps. I don't see it happening, but we've seen crazy things happen at this Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely. Everything that could go on has gone on right now. But Pickled Avenger then still managing to hold off Sinful Chris behind. I don't know the penalty situation, but I think Pickled and Swain are clear from penalties, and Turkeys is up the inside of Sinful Chris, of WRS Cam even, and he's got the move done. And well, Pingers has managed to dispatch Family Guy as well. So penalties are going to play a huge part in the final orders, and I'm sure Sinful Chris has penalties as well. But Chris and Avenger have moved away. The group is split in two.
It has. There is a very large train forming behind Pingers though, from 8th down to 16th. So there's an 8-car train forming behind the AlphaTauri driver. Family Guy mixed in between that. Oh, and there it is. Oh, wow, and that's down the inside from Madman on the last corner. I don't know whether he pulled that move off, but the guy's fighting for the last points paid position. It's mad down at the bottom of the grid.
Yeah, they're so close. Light Shock, I think, is just getting, because there's too many people there, he just can't get the space to really have a crack at anyone. But Stracker did get past Family Guy through all that as well. Family Guy with his mediums did say that was going to be a huge stumbling block for some people, and it's a stumbling block too far as Prophet Meady now leads the rest of that train behind him. And look at all that going on behind. And Sinful Chris, I've missed that overtake because of everything going on back here, and there's a car off the track, and there's bumping and everything is going on back here at the moment. And I don't know which, I think that's Prophet Meady. It is, sorry, Prophet Meady. And they're 3 wide going into turn 10. Please don't do anything. Oh, it's so close. So close.
It's non-stop at the back of the grid. It's difficult to know who to stay on board with, but Viper on the last lap has got 2.5 seconds. Surely he can't mess that up now as he begins his final lap. Swain is clawed a little bit back, but it's not enough. Only half a second over 2 laps. So without any mistakes. But like you said, Gareth, those penalties, they're coming thick and fast. We don't know where anyone is really on circuit.
Yeah, it's absolutely mental. And Prophet Media gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. He's retired. I think he knew that was the end, unfortunately for him, with that. I don't know what happened, but something definitely happened for him to retire in the pits, as I think Pred is struggling a little bit. Simple Chris isn't really catching or pickled, but Swain has pulled out a 2.2 second gap to him, just ahead. And is there going to be a last gasp overtake for anyone back down here? WRS Cam can't do anything. Oh, it looked like he was going to spin out then, but I think that's about it. Everyone else is just going through the motions of this track. I will go on board with EOL Viper as he finishes the circuit. And, well, it's unfortunate for last weekend's winner. He's retired. LCR Astro has retired. The third place man of last week has retired. But it is a Haas that's going to finish the race in the lead. It's not Squidgy Genie this week. It is EOL Viper who wins, providing he doesn't have a shed full of penalties, who wins the French Grand Prix. There is Master Swain wins it. Master Swain wins the French Grand Prix. Pred is going to come behind Sinful Chris. Pickled Avenger is P5. Turkey's P6. No, Pingers is P6. Turkey's is no. That's just all changing. Wow.
What a finish. I mean, Swain, the man, I'm sure everyone got a penalty in that Grand Prix, and I think he's just been I'd say the least worst offender. That's not the right words, but Silver Custer's drive of the day. I'd probably give that to him as well. He's had some great overtakes in this Grand Prix. But what a win for Master Swain. For Master Swain. Finished second last week, and he's done it one better and finished in first today and side down the bottom of the grid, really, Gareth. And that's a great drive from the Red Bull driver to win here in France and a commanding position in the championship.
Absolutely incredible race from Swain. We didn't think that was going to be the case at the end. The virtual safety car helped him out, and then the safety car came out, and I honestly thought that would hinder the top three. But he is the only one, I think, in the Grand Prix not to have had a penalty. He is.
Great. I mean, lovely clean driving from Swain as he wins it here in France. Viper in second, Chris in third, with Pred getting 6 seconds with the penalties, just dropping down to fourth. Pickled Avenger in fifth, Stracker's down in sixth, Pinger's seventh, Niels in eighth, Gunhead ninth, Ellis 16 down in 10th. So he did get a point, luckily. The outside driver, Sloppy Cop in 11th, Turkey's 12th, Cam in 13th, Family Guy down in 4th. He's there. Not the worst offender though, he got some 12 seconds in there as well. Jolly 15th, Madman in 16th, Nuthead 17th, and then the retirees of Meady, Astro and Squidgy G. It's been a hectic race yet again here in F1XL, Gareth, and I'm very happy, and I'm hoping for another good one next week in Abu Dhabi.
I can't wait for Abu Dhabi, to be honest. This is a crazy one, to say the least. But I have invited the podium sitters for your small segment in the show. But before we get there, that is a crazy, crazy French Grand Prix. And I mean, that's 2 weeks in a bounce, Ollie, that we've had. Well, just mental things go on. But it's definitely well worth it in that way.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I dislike the safety car coming out in the Grand Prix, it really does spice things up. I mean, we had a 5-lap sprint, and that was brilliant to see in the Grand Prix, and drivers really put on another show for us commentators and the guys who are watching the stream. So hopefully they enjoyed it, because it was another thrilling Grand Prix here in.
Have we lost you, Ollie? Are you still there?
And what a race!
Oh, there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Yeah, what a race from yourself, Swain. I mean, just talk us through, because that was a crazy old race, and you starting further back on the grid to win it as well. I mean, great race.
Thank you. Don't expect much out of me, because I'm kind of lost for words. Yeah, it was a crazy old race. I qualifying it didn't look as bad as it probably looked. Well, it wasn't as bad as it looked, should I say? So I always plan to start on the mediums, but I went out on the end of the softs because I still wasn't sure. I just thought, oh god, just in case, and I validated my time lapse. I was like, okay, well, I'm starting where I'm starting, and then got quite lucky. So I thought I'll go hards off the start to sort of kind of get the hard out of the way, and then hopefully make up some positions at the end on the medium. Got incredibly lucky with the virtual safety car, because I thought I'm gonna stay. I think it was like lap 14, and I saw Pred had pitted my teammate a lap before, and I think it was Light Shock was catching up to me. So I thought I'm gonna stay an extra lap, hopefully hold Light Shock up a bit, and give Pred a good chance of getting the win. And then just got really lucky with the safety car, and and then got lucky with the virtual safety car, and then the safety car came out. Which, okay, this is a sprint to the end. I think, to be fair, I had done a lot more practice than Pred had done. So he's probably still quicker than me, but yeah. And I didn't, at the end, I purposely didn't check whether Viper had a time penalty, because I thought, I don't want to know, I just want to drive my own race, not get a penalty, and then we'll see what happens at the end. But I could already see I was catching him, and I thought, if I'm catching him, he doesn't have a penalty, because he would be driving flat out right now, and I wouldn't be catching him. So when I crossed the line and I saw the number change from 2 to 1, I lost it, I'll be honest.
Brilliant. And we could see you were catching him bit by bit, but we thought, oh no, I mean he hasn't got it. But we already said there was going to be penalties, and you got lucky in that sense. I mean, you're the only driver not to get a penalty throughout the whole Grand Prix. I mean, what did you do different? I mean, I bet admittedly you didn't go wide, which explains it. But what were you just concentrating so much that you just not to go out wide, or maybe you weren't pushing too much in the Grand Prix?
Well, I figured if I do a one stop, which was my plan, I need to save the tyres and make sure I have enough tyres at the end to hold off any two stoppers. Mm-hmm. So I was never driving 100%, a bit like Azerbaijan last week. Okay. Because I figured, I need to save the tyres, and that kind of, it lessened the risk of getting a penalty because I wasn't driving flat out. I wasn't cruising around. I'm not saying that for a second. I was definitely driving. I was concentrating a lot, put it that way. But to be honest, it's probably more luck than anything else. I was quite close to getting. I think I was on 2 warnings. Oh, okay. So one more cut, and I would have got a penalty. So it was quite lucky, to be honest. But I mean, Viper drove a fantastic race, and so did Chris. I think Chris started 16th. He was like 2 positions behind me, so we drove an incredible race as well.
Yeah, further than that after the end of sector 1, I tell you.
It was a crazy race. Well, congratulations on winning. That's 2 podiums in 2 races, so it's not bad swaying there. But we'll talk to the man who finished second, Viper. So close. I think it was half a second, and you would have won that Grand Prix. But you had that penalty at the end. But regardless, it wasn't a bad French Grand Prix for you, really.
No, the race itself was good. I kind of messed up my own qualifying. As I was about to start my lap, I don't know if it was caught on stream, I noticed Pred was behind me coming through the penultimate corner, and I let him through, not realising that he was on an out lap as well, about to start his. So I just let him through to make sure I didn't block him if he was, and then started my lap shortly behind, and sort of, obviously the dirty air, not really great, maybe cost me a bit of time, could have been a bit higher on the grid, but it wouldn't have been much at all. My lap itself was generally very good. Surprised, to be honest, with the number of guys who went for the soft tyres. That was a bit of a shock. But the quality was decent. The race, I mean, turn 1, someone ahead spun or something, and a little bit drama, and then after that it was just sort of trying to settle in. I annoyed myself because I got my penalty. I got that early on, picked up 2 warnings in the first 5 or so laps of the race or something, and then after I got my penalty I didn't pick up a single warning. And then obviously the safety cars didn't really play into my favour. If it wasn't for the VSC, if it wasn't for the safety car, it would have been a straight fight between myself and Pred. So obviously it would have been easier to sort of control that, as we were both on the same penalties. We just obviously race each other on track, whereas as it turned out at the end it was difficult. Obviously I got a really good restart, and then obviously pushing that hard cooked the tyres, burnt out the fuel in the ERS, and didn't have enough to fight with on that last lap and dropped time.
Yeah, I can understand that, and but regardless of not winning, it's still a good haul of points coming in second place. And looking towards next week, it's Abu Dhabi. I mean, how is that as a track for yourself?
Abu Dhabi for me, I don't know if I'll be here next week. I like the track. I know I'm obviously on no line this game, so it takes me a bit more effort, a bit more practice to put in. So I guess it will come down to how I feel with comfort on the track next weekend, and also if I'm free. But yeah, for the race today, the result is solid. It was a good race, and obviously well done to Sway in the pace at the end. Solid.
Yeah, well, regardless, if you're not here next week, I'm glad you turned up this week because you gave us a good show. So congratulations on P number 2. And finally,
cheers.
Let's talk to Chris, driver of the day. Actually, Chris, you made some ballsy overtakes coming into that final corner. There was, I think, once or twice we saw you on stream making overtakes, but you were in it and then you were out and then you were back in again. I mean, just describe that race for us, because it was great watching you in that in the Grand Prix today.
It was absolute chaos. Ruined my quality, to be fair, early doors. I cut the corner on the first lap there. We only had a couple of minutes left, so that put us on the back foot. And then sort of just taking it easy in sector 1, trying to avoid any collisions, damage early doors. And then I got tagged by a Ferrari. I think it might have been Astro or Nuthead. That spun us around. I don't know how far back I was in last place, but it looked far. Managed to just stay out as long as I could on the mediums, and then I was going to do a double soft stint at the end, hopefully overtake some of the guys who were battling in the midfield on harder tyres at the time. Thankfully a safety car came out, so I could just put another set on and stay sort of where I was. My batteries actually died on my controller while I was in the box, so I stayed in the box a lot longer than I thought I was needing to, so I think I dropped a couple of places to I think it was Calm and Pickled, but it was just trying to get past them, and the last 5 laps was dicey to say the least, and threw it up the inside of Pickled going into the fast chicane at the end of the first DRS straight. It was a bold move to say the least, but I got it done. Thankfully, I jumped up a place as well with the penalties.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think everyone had penalty. Well, apart from Master Swain, everyone had a penalty of some sort. But it was great watching yourself race today, and we were questioning your double soft stint. But of course, like you said, with those with the damage you got early on, it was a bit of a struggle. But you must be happy with third place in the Grand Prix today.
Oh, chuffed. Absolutely chuffed a bit, especially with the start. I mean, I was aiming just for some points, maybe a 10th or a 9th after the start. Like I say, I don't know how far back I was after I got the tag and spun round, but it felt far. So to be on the podium's just, it's mega. I got saved by the safety car at the end. I think I would have been sort of the back end of the points had it not came out and had to pit again, but I can't complain with 15 points.
Yeah, I mean, the racing gods clearly were looking down on you today.
It's about time.
Yeah, I think so. Well, if you look at it, the top 3 today all started outside of the top 10, which is I don't think we've ever seen that before, at least in a long time. But congratulations to the top 3, Swain winning it with Viper in second and Chris in P number 3, and I'll hand it back to Gareth to round off today's stream.
Fantastic, and congratulations for the top frame, and well done to everyone, to be honest, because it was some tough conditions at the end there with so many cars just battling away, but it was crazy, it was mental. Well, I've run out of words, but yeah, really enjoyed that final battle throughout the grid, and well, that's about it. Thank you very much, Ollie, for sitting in the commentary box with me again this week, and I really look forward to the rest of the season with you. I think with you in the com box, the action in F1 has gone through the roof, so you're not allowed to go anywhere.
I won't.
And well, until Wednesday, where we run down all the league's action, bar F4, because I have heard the rumours of a rerun there. We will see you on Wednesday, and then back for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix next Sunday at 9 o'clock. But for now, we will catch you all in the next one.